So we're gonna be reacting to Vera Dark. Um, she's going to be talking more about the Visa Mastercard censorship issue we had discussed. I believe it was last week's stream. Well, not discussed, but I kind of discussed about it. We reacted to her video from last week, and we're gonna react to this video here. Um, so I will, again, as usual, I will have links to this video down in the description below. If and then if you haven't already, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. So yeah, last week, just a quick kind of catch up. Last week, we were reacting to Vera reporting on the Mastercard, PayPal, Visa card, like all of them, basically laying down the hammer, doing some censorship. Basically took away some games off of Steam and itch.io, like a ton of games, like thousands of games, just because they're not safe for work. My stance on that was that I don't I don't like 100% agree with it. I'm not like 100% against it. But I am more on the side of being against it. Um, only because like the way the main issue is that they did it in the first place, just because a bunch of people complained to them and they agreed, and so they were basically like, we don't like these games and we need to take these away. And so basically we don't like them, and so you're not allowed to play them because we don't like them. That's basically the how basically that is. And it's like, we don't, that's not okay. That's not okay in any sense. I don't know why they think that's okay, why they think that they could just be like, oh, this is how I believe, this is what I feel, this is how I think, and I'm gonna make you do the same thing. Like, you need to be doing the same thing. Like, this is, because I think that's not okay. The things that are okay and things that aren't okay, everyone else needs to have the same exact beliefs, the same exact thought process. No, that's not how that works. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. That's not okay. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own beliefs, and you can't force those beliefs and those things on everyone else. I'm sorry. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Tough. You know, that's just fairness. It's just straight fairness, and they're not thinking. They're not using their brains. They're just like me me me. You know. Anyways, I'm getting too much. That's basically like a recap of what was going on. So now we're gonna kind of follow up on this. There's been stuff that's been happening. After that, like, there was a censorship going on in UK. Now that you have to get go through an ID process now, for those who live in the UK. They basically passed a law. There's been some other companies that are now starting to get into it. I also did hear about, I don't know if she's going to talk about it, she probably won't, but not in this video, but I also did hear that there's a law that was already being worked on, that was going to prevent, the credit card companies, to prevent them from doing the actions that they already did. Unfortunately, the bill didn't get passed in time. Fortunately, this all went through before that bill went through. So, but yeah, so we're gonna head and see what Vera has to say about all this. Let's go ahead.
Platforms are fighting back against Visa and MasterCard censorship. Itch.io just brought back all of the free NSFW content they previously de-indexed, and Valve has stated that MasterCard was forcing them to remove content that could be damaging to their brand, even if it was legal, fighting back against all of the statements that they have made and trying to call them liars. But now GOG is thanking the dedication of developers and publishers by raising awareness on censorship in gaming via releasing certain game bundles.
GOG is an awesome site. I have a GOG account, and I have a number of games through them because I have Prime. So Prime and GOG actually work together, and they actually do. If you have Amazon Prime, like, you do Amazon Prime Gaming, and then you can they'll like to give out free games and stuff, so you can basically get a free game from GOG into your account, and it's completely free. It's awesome, and then GOG is an awesome site. I'm totally for what they do over there. So this right here is awesome.
thoughts. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, it is fantastic to see companies trying their very best to fight back, and I know we still haven't gotten this major win rate. It's not like Visa and MasterCard are apologizing and saying there was a complete misunderstanding and they never meant for it to get this way, because they really have just doubled down on they technically aren't the ones forcing censorship upon these platforms, because they are not the ones monitoring it, even though what they're doing is actually threatening these platforms, saying if you don't remove it yourself, we're going to rip our services away from you. So they're being very tricky with their wording, but of course gamers are not buying into their BS, and we are going to continue to call them out until they are no longer trying to censor and control.
Good. Yes. Yes, I also heard that there has been a lot of their phones have been blowing up about all this, about like people who are against this saying, hey, this is not okay, you need to, you need to fix this, basically.
Our entertainment, though GOG is now trying to fight back in their own way, because they made this post saying, thanks to the dedication of developers and publishers, we are launching Freedom to Buy Games. To raise awareness on censorship in gaming, 13 games are now available for free for 48 hours as part of Stand for Creative Freedom and Preservation. We believe that if a game is legal and responsibly made, players should be able to enjoy it today and decades from now.
Let's go ahead and check that out. It should still be up. Let me see. I'm just not hearing about this, obviously. Freedom to buy .games. Censorship is quietly deciding which games you can buy. We are fighting back. Some games vanished, not because they broke the law, but because someone decided that they shouldn't. 40 hours, these games are free, because if a game is legal, it should be free to buy. Alright, I'll go ahead and do that. What games do you get? Let's see. Oh, it's a bunch of not safe for work games. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. So if you want not safe for work games, this is definitely something to check out if that's what you want. It gets added to your GOG account, so that's funny. All right. Support the devs.
It's our statement: when games are delisted today because of discomfort, reviving them tomorrow becomes exponentially harder. Now, I do think that GOG in general
I'm not gonna show
is
the
a
games,
pretty
but
good platform, because while they provide a license just like any other
definitely
media
go
does,
check it out.
it's DRM free, which is great, meaning you have access to the media outside of the platform, unlike with most other digital storefronts. You actually control and own your game, which I think is really good. But I do think it is also important to point out that while they do deserve some praise for this statement and trying to stand with these other platforms and stand against censorship, we do need to be aware of GOG's past. Unfortunately, they have censored and removed certain games from their platform over the past few years. I mean, the most notable one was GOG nixes the re-release of censored horror game Devotion. They said earlier today it was announced that the game Devotion is coming to GOG after receiving many messages from gamers. We have decided not to list the game in our storefront. Now, There are a lot of people who believe it wasn't actually gamers because it was removed from Steam after its release because of a meme critical of the Chinese president Xi Jinping, which compared his likeness
Oh yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Winnie the
remember that now.
Pooh, was
That's right.
discovered in the game. Chinese players began review bombing the
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's not. They may have like censored it, but this wasn't. That's like kind of a gray area in my opinion. I think it's still. I think it still kind of also falls under the whole like I don't like it so you can't play kind of deal. But this is like more like a law thing, more like a political thing, whereas the other one is just a bunch of people complaining for no reason, for stupid reason. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that one.
the game on Steam before it was eventually pulled for a complete QA check and never ended up returning. So there were a lot of Chinese individuals who, of course, were upset over this. And as you can guess, Chinese players playing a game set in Taiwan definitely stirred the political pot a little bit. Though I do think that we still need to praise GOG for their stance right now, because while they have censored and removed certain games from their platforms over the past couple of years, they definitely are not as bad as Sony is, and even as bad as Valve is with Steam. They haven't been so bad in terms of the censorship, and right now I do think that it is good to see another major video game storefront standing up against censorship. And since right now we are looking past Steam's questionable history to defend them against credit card companies, I think that it's only fair that we do try to sit here and also defend GOG and give them some kind of credit for the statements they're making, because they are really putting a target on their own backs as well. Now, I'm hoping that with all of these platforms banding together, that it will make a difference, and that maybe these credit card companies and payment processors will actually listen to us and actually listen to these platforms and say, you know what, we understand what you're saying, we're going to be more lenient, though we do need to stay like cautiously optimistic. But GOG is being praised by a lot of gamers right now. Again, be very skeptical, right? Cautiously optimistic. But what they're saying is still really good, and what they're doing is still really good. And that's one of the many reasons you're the best digital store out there. That's gaming done right, GOG. Will you let me get my game on your platform? This is why GOG is the best digital storefront in gaming. I don't care if all my games aren't on my Steam library. GOG makes sure I own what I buy, and I do generally think what they stand for is good. DRM-free games are always going to be praised by me personally. Holy shit, this is epic. Free to buy, free to goon. Jokes aside, good to see you fighting against censorship. Based, I can get behind this. I was already rooting for GOG, but I guess I'll root even harder now. Great luck. Fight the good fight, guys. GOG, more like G-O-A-T. Thank you, King. You dropped this. You're awesome. Okay, GOG. I like it. This is certainly an effective way of bringing attention to the site. I had forgotten I had an account with games in a library there. I'll be back. I personally have hundreds and hundreds of games on GOG. I do typically try to purchase there instead of platforms like Steam. Obviously, it's very hard. There are plenty of games that do not make it onto GOG because it is a curated platform, though I do think in general they have a lot of variety and a lot of good games on their site. Okay, but why did you delist Devotion in 2020? That was censorship, and the game is to this day unavailable. What they should do is have Devotion brought back to the platform. If GOG truly wants to prove that they are against censorship, they should bring it back today, tomorrow, over the next couple of days. Now, to top off the GOG situation, over the past few days, we've also seen Valve and itch.io trying to fight back in their own ways. We've got this breaking. Valve reveals payment processors rejected Steam's policy, citing MasterCard's Rule 5.12.7. Sales of a product or service, including an image which is patently offensive and lacks serious artistic values or other materials that the corp deems unacceptable, unacceptable to sell. MasterCard did not communicate with Valve directly, despite our request to do so. Valve's statement sent over email to Kotaku reads, MasterCard communicated with payment processors and their acquiring banks. Payment processors communicated this with Valve, and we replied by outlining Steam's policy since 2018 of attempting to distribute games that are legal for distribution. Now, keep in mind, MasterCard and Visa have said, oh, as long as the content is legal, we're fine with it, but we know that that is a lie. Payment processors rejected this and specifically cited MasterCard's rule and risk to the MasterCard brand, so they don't actually care about having a sale of a legal product. They just care that, oh, well, this could damage our brand, so we're saying you can't sell it. It goes on, the sale of a product or service, including an image which is patently offensive and lacks serious artistic value. Oh, guys, we've got some art critics on our hands. As such, by the way of example and not limitation, images of non-consensual sexual behavior, exploitation of a minor, non-consensual mutilation of a person or body part, and bestiality, or any other material that the corporation deems unacceptable to sell in connection with a mark. But we've also now got Itch having free adult NSFW content returned to their platform.
That's
in a
good.
note to developers, the Itch founder has confirmed that free adult content will be re-indexed on the platform alongside a new content warning system. It follows the wholesale de-indexing of adult content on the indie game marketplace due to pressure applied by an anti-pornography lobby group on major credit card processors.
See, that right there is all you need. You can have the not safe for work games. Just put a warning. Oh my god. It was like... Was it really that hard just to say, you know what, we should just update our policies instead of just removing it, update our policies, and then we require that there be a warning before playing the game. And then that's what Steam needs to do, honestly.
And I think that we all know at this point that this isn't just happening because of collective shout. Sure, they might have enabled these payment processors and credit card companies and banks to move quicker, but I think that they always planned to, not allow this content to be sold anymore. I think that they are obviously trying to control our entertainment, and we see that clear as day with the statement that Valve made, because they're saying, well, if the corporation deems it unacceptable, then yeah, you can't receive money for it. And that's why these platforms right now are trying to reintroduce these free games, because, well, they also technically are not being sold. They are not receiving any funds for it, so it is skirting the rules. Now, if the credit card companies will take offense to this and say, no, this still isn't acceptable because this content is allowed on the platform in general, that could be an entirely different issue, though this is really grounds for a lawsuit. They're saying, well, if it is legal content, you can sell it, but they're also not allowing that to happen. I will definitely be keeping my eye on the situation, but we are seeing platforms trying to fight back against this. It's reintroducing the free adult NSFW content. Valve coming out and saying, no, it's them just saying, well, the corporations deemed it unacceptable, so we can't sell it or host it on our platform. And now we also have GOG coming out and basically putting a target on their back
kind of
by
like
saying,
pointing fingers rather than fixing the issue.
We're going to allow these bundles and introduce these bundles and give them to...
Which is not really, I don't think is... I'll talk about here in a minute. The video's almost over.
Everybody. It's content that's been deemed controversial in the past, but hey, it's free, so it gets around their rules. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
Great video. I think GOG and Itch, GOG, and Itch are doing... Those are good responses. Those are a good way to fix the issue. Valve's not fixing the issue. Valve's more just kind of like, well, I wasn't really us. It was this person or that person. It's like, okay, at this point, it doesn't matter who did what. Fix it. Put him back. You taking away was stupid in the first place. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter because you literally took away games that people bought, people had purchased. Put them back. Anyways, yeah, go ahead and check out the original video. Give Vera Dark a follow. Give me a follow. Subscribe. Comment below what you think. What you think about this. Do you agree with this? Did you grab those free games? I just did here live. And yeah, I will see you next video.